on for 9.2. Right, so receive an update on footfall cameras subject to further correspondence from Breckland Council. Stan.
Thank you, Chair. At last council, I had concerns about the privacy aspects of the cameras and wanted to clarify further how these cameras were going to be used and what type of cameras they were. Unfortunately, the person at Breckland is on leave, so somebody kindly stepped in and made the inquiries. The reason I mention that is that's why it's a last-minute update. From a GDPR perspective, I feel reassured on the information they've given me that there's no jeopardy to the rights and freedoms of the residents of Watton if the cameras that they have described are the cameras that are installed. And if you recall, Chairman, my only concern last council meeting was the privacy aspect. Any other aspect of it wasn't my gripe. It was just purely the intrusiveness of the cameras. But I'm satisfied that that isn't the case.
Thomas.
On Wednesday last week, I went to talk to many different businesses, 30 plus if you want to count, but I asked them directly the same question.
30 plus, I would like to know exactly how many, because you would actually say exactly how many. So I bet there was 30 and it was half and half, or more than, I don't know, but why there is 30 plus? Well, no, tell us how many.
Would your business benefit from a footfall camera, as Breckland has advertised this as something that would directly benefit the businesses? I have a little tally. I have 14 for yes and 14 for no, so there were absolutely no help whatsoever. So, but I did end up at Adcock's, and I did have a chat with Julian and Paul, and we kind of came to the consensus that if it's cheap, we should do it. So it very much depends on what the cost of maintenance is, but I think if it's within sort of feasible amounts, I think we should go for it, mostly on the fact of any future development that could take place in Watton could benefit, the Digital Media Centre would benefit, there's 14 yeses of businesses that would benefit, and I think that Lauren would also benefit from an events point of view.
Stan.
Thank you, Chair. Sorry to dampen your fireworks, Thomas, but my only concern with what you've said is, yes, it could be used to substantiate matters for promoting the town. Equally, it could be used to shoot us in the foot, so you've got to be careful what you wish for.
Right, so where are we going to go with this then? Well, I'm happy to push it back that way. Tina, did you want?
Yeah, sorry about that you can't hear that, but some of the council members find it very, very hard to use the microphones.
Information provided by Breckland was vague insofar that they said footfall cameras to count the vehicles and the pedestrians, adult and child in the high street. There was no clarity as to whether this would capture images or silhouettes. And I think the best way to describe it is, my understanding is the cameras that are going to be used are like the current baby scans, where you just see a clay shape of a baby. You can see it's a baby, but you can't see its gender. You can't see its race or anything like that. You just see it's a baby. And likewise, there'd be a bigger one for a person, and there'd be a car-shaped one for a car, and conversely, guess what shape the buses would be?
How do they know that? How many companies say, oh, we won't do this with the data, but they totally do the opposite? Like what was that one? There was a company, Cambridge Analytics, Cambridge Analytics or something, wasn't it? Didn't they get in a lot of trouble for using the data the total way that they weren't meant to? Now, they do not know. These lot do not know. How can they trust the council? How can they trust Norfolk County Council, Breckland Council, when they had their thing for 2030 about where they're going to build houses, the couple of bits of land, And then after all the vote and everything, and then this year they pull out the bag. Oh yeah, we're going to put 1,000 houses up opposite the Flying Fish up that way. How can they trust Breckland Council? How can they? And also, how they do not know even how it works. Do they really think? Yeah, they might be able to show you. Yeah, look, you can't see anything. You can't see who it is. But all it takes is a bit of different code and it'll be totally different. How? Now, would you be up for this or not?
So is this shared on another town or is something just
No, it would be used, they assured us in the feedback that all the data would be analysed in the equipment itself, and the data would be fed
in the
back
equipment.
as between this time and this time,
In the equipment.
34 adults, 200 children.
You notice they're not using the word AI, are they? Because that is what they will use. It'll use artificial intelligence. We all know that, don't we?
Lots of lorries, lots of cars, lots of buses. So it is assured to be as vague as that, and if they do anything to the contrary, then they've misled us. Thank you, Chair.
And how many times has Breckland Council misled this lot? How many times? Because remember, a lot of them don't talk very, very highly of Breckland Council, do they? Well, certain people don't, and they're very, very, very open, saying that they're not very happy with what the other councils do. So, would you be up for that? Yes or no? Not knowing where this data is being stored, who's looking at it, or anything.
I don't think we were ever provided with any costings for these, so I do agree with Thomas. I think before we go any further, we need to find out what the cost is.
And also, if it's cheap, well, how are they going to make their money? Come on. How are they going to make this? Come on. They're going to sell a data, aren't they? Data is very, 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 very sought after, especially stuff like that. And especially when you're using artificial intelligence.
Things are for the thing itself, the installation and maintenance, anything, and any associated costs. So we've got an idea of the immediate and the long-term costings.
They've installed it, but we're going to pay for the maintenance.
Yeah, yeah.
Steve.
Yeah, I just want to say, what are the benefits then? How does it help local businesses? I don't understand how counting what comes through the town is.
It doesn't help at all. No, good question. It doesn't help at all. It's all it is to get data, photo. I don't believe a word what the council say, as in Breckland, or the very small little bit of information that was given out.
A change for having a camera there.
Well, I guess it's if they do initiatives and what have you, and see if there's extra people come into the town and things, you know.
And also, how are they going to know if it's people walking from work or walking back from work? Are they going to think these workers are going to work, or what? How? If you can't see their face and all you see is a so-called figure outline of the person, how are they going to know the people from work and backwards, or the people that come into town and actually don't go in any shops? So, yeah. How's it going to do what and any good? Also costing the council money as well.
Like those cameras would have been working at some phenomenal rate on Sunday, wouldn't they, for the motorbike thing? Or not working at all, you're overloaded.
Overloaded, no, they haven't. See, these people ain't got a clue, have they?
I propose that we pick up what's been said is that we defer making a decision until we know such time as what the annual maintenance will be of the cameras.
The maintenance.
Okay. Is everybody happy with that? Right, okay, we'll do that.
So yeah, this is one of their lovely
Right.
ideas.
This is where I can hand over to Keith for planning.
Anyway, there you go. What's your views on that then?